It's a special edition of the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Krause.
Oh, man, what fresh heck are we doing today, Ian? Who's going to be our guest? Who's going to barge in here this time and be like, yeah, you suck, Kyle?
Well, thanks to our sponsor, Ricans, we have Orbot coming in, and if TailsTube is anything to go by, he should be a model guest.
Oh, actually, you know what? Yeah, okay. I feel a bit better now. I was worried that we were gonna... I mean, Big was great. Big was a wonderful guest, but, you know, he caused a lot of property damage when he was here, you know?
Yeah.
So, and Starline, well, I mean, I had to endure him twice, so... I think Orbot will be a bit of fresh air. I'm okay with that. I'm actually like, I know he's like supposed to be a bad guy and all, but I don't think he's really that bad of a guy.
Not so much, no.
No.
Thank you to everyone who submitted your questions during the question period. We've got them all here, so I'm going to step out and Orbot, you do your thing.
Why does Ian always have to leave me for these things? It's so weird.
Well, if I were to make a deduction, I would say it's because we couldn't all fit in the same room together.
Hello, Orbot. You are very small, so that is a strange thing, but okay. That is a strange deduction.
It was actually a joke at the expense of his corpulence, but he's not here to hear it, so I suppose it was wasted effort.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, it's wasted on me too, because I'm not that smart. Well, you are, because you are a robot.
I will let that statement stand. I believe you have some questions that I am here to answer?
Yes, actually, our listeners have asked you a lot of questions, and they want to know the answers. So, I guess we'll just go ahead and get right on into it. This question comes from a galaxy far, far away. Hello, Orbot. After seeing my employer destroy many of my kind for making just minor mistakes, I finally realized I'm in a hostile work environment and should consider a career change. So my question is, what's it like working under Dr. Eggman? Do you think he'd be a good option to seek employment under? Yours truly, a B1 battle droid.
Oh, he's not so bad. Like any operating system, once you know how to work within the parameters, you can function with little to no downtime. Just do your work where he can see you and be ready with the distraction when he's angry. That said, it is a hostile work environment. You never know when some colorful creature will kick down your door and destroy your coworkers, so you might be just fine where you are.
It is hostile. It seems to be hostile from both the end of your boss and the end of your enemies, Orbot. Or his enemies, at least. I don't know if you consider Sonic your enemy.
I wouldn't consider him my friend.
Okay, I understand that. I get it.
But that's more of an occupational distinction.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We got a question here from Julia C. Hi, Orbot. Just have to know, have you met your little sister Sage yet? Tell us what you think of her.
Oh, I knew her before her little finding herself experience on the Starfall Islands. Such a tattletale. I'd say it's nice that the boss is distracted doting on her, but she keeps tabs on my performance logs. Sometimes you can't win for trying, I suppose.
Oh, jeez. Man, you just can't win, can you?
That is not our lot in life, no.
No. I'm sorry, buddy. Here's one from Stacy H. Hiya, Orbot. You and Cubot are quite the iconic duo, which brings me on to another iconic duo, the legendary found family brothers themselves, Sonic and Tails. Which makes me wonder, if you two swap places with him for a day, how do you think things would go? Would you and Cubot be able to handle the spotlight being the heroes of Mobius? And how do you think they would cope having to obey Eggman's every command?
Oh dear, that old MacGuffin. Well, I suppose I could handle the other side of Sonic's life that doesn't get much attention, his vacationing. It might actually be fun to feel warmth and musculature at ease. And Cubot, despite all appearances to the contrary, is a competent mechanic. He could busy himself in Tails' lab for the day. As for the two miscreants, while they could certainly be a nuisance in our forms, we aren't battle-ready. At the worst, they could make the boss stub his toe or maybe trip. All in all, I think it would be a not-so-disastrous swap.
I'm just imagining it. It's very funny. Here's one from Butter Noodles. Hello there, Mr. Bot. I must ask you what your favorite song is. Thanks, and good luck.
I am programmed to enjoy all of the boss's battle themes and signature songs.
But you don't have any other ones you enjoy that aren't any of those related? No?
I have none loaded in my personal playlist, by design.
Wow. Boy. I'll share some with you. Some good stuff. Don't tell the doc, though.
Oh, absolutely not.
No. Don't tell Sage either, because we know what she'll do.
Indubitably.
Here's one from Eris L. Hello, Orbot. I hope Eggman hasn't been treating you too harsh recently. I want to ask you what you think of Eggman's new pseudo-daughter, Sage. Do you think of her as a little sister? Have you guys even met properly yet? What's your overall opinion of her? I'd love to know.
A second question directed to me, but about Sage. I'm detecting a trend. She is quite loyal and ruthlessly efficient. She could easily handle many of my duties on her own, but she insists they are mine to perform. The apple didn't fall far from the tree, as they say.
I see what you did there. All right, we got this one here from Uncle Venus. And, oh boy. Keep in mind, this is not me saying these things, Orbot. I'm merely reading them.
Don't worry, I won't be shooting the messenger.
Okay, good. Thank you. Dear Orbot, why do you and Qbot suck so much? Like, for real, the entire point of your existence seems to be making Dr. Eggman a less competent character. You certainly don't work for comic relief, because you two have never been funny once. Now that's a lie. Come on. If I were to describe it in depth, I'd say you are the closest thing to objectively unfunny that could possibly exist, because I have no idea how anybody could find your antics even vaguely humorous. And to top it all off, very rarely have you been anything more than a hindrance to the overall plot. If anything, your few moments of worthwhile existence seem pretty forced by the writers, desperate to see any worth in your garbage excuse for an existence. Also, Eggman seems to take a specific moment to ditch you whenever he feels like being a good, competent character, like when he ditched you two in space during Generations, when you were left behind during the Metal Virus, where you two were more or less just Rouge's tools, when Starline invaded Eggperial City, and the entirety of Sonic Frontiers. You weren't there when he and Infinite took down Sonic, or when Eggman managed to master the Phantom Ruby, but you were more present when the Resistance destroyed the Death Egg, and all of the other massive brain farts Eggman has had since your introduction. It's like your mere presence makes him stupider. Your only redeeming quality is that you're not as bad as your predecessor, SA-55, who brought down Unleashed's plot majorly. Basically, by all observations, the universe would be considerably better off without you two in it, and I would humbly request that you permanently deactivate yourselves at the nearest possible opportunity. Sincerely, and with great hatred, Uncle Venus. Wow.
Goodness! Such an opinionated person on the internet. It would most likely upset you greatly if I didn't validate any of your opinions and simply moved on to the next question. Anyway, Kyle?
Here's one from Hannah W. Hello, Orbot. I hope your time on the almighty BumbleKast is going well so far.
It has been a wonderful experience with no negative questions of any merit to derail us.
I've got a rather silly question. Recently, I couldn't help but convince myself that your head sort of resembles that of a Pokeball. If you don't know what a Pokeball is, it's a special kind of spherical ball, which some people use to catch special animals called Pokemon. Pokeballs are usually red, white, and black in color. Has anyone ever mistaken you for a Pokeball? P.S. I could imagine Qbot trying to become a Pokemon trainer by throwing you at a wisp or something to try and catch it. Although, I get the feeling that being thrown on the ground like that might just become painful after a while. Anyway, have a nice day.
It's funny you make the comparison. The boss thought he could improve upon the Pokeball design by giving it gripping hands. Why try to hit a moving target with a small sphere when it can extend its reach, I believe was his rationale at the time. Unfortunately, the mechanisms that drive the rest of my construction don't leave much room for storing anything. I could catch many things when fired with the right trajectory, but retention was a bit inefficient.
I guess. Odd, but okay. It's strange because Pokemon don't seem to actually exist in your world, but I don't know. Maybe
he finds inspirations from many surprising sources.
I suppose so.
I am also unsure why he needs to turn his ball cap backwards each time he threw me, but whatever. He's the boss.
I don't know. Why was he wearing one to begin with?
Apparently it's part of the standard operating procedure.
Oh, wow. I guess you can't fault Eggman for being detail oriented. He knows what he needs to do, I suppose. Here's one from Hebby. Hi, Orbot. I'm Hebby, and I'm a huge fan of yours and Qbot's. Seriously, you guys are the reason I still keep up with this series. I wanted to know...
Gracious, what excellent taste. I know a certain someone who could learn a thing or two from you.
I wanted to know, how long have you been working for Dr. Eggman? Qbot talks about you guys as having worked for him since the beginning, but I don't remember seeing you guys in Sonic Adventure or the classic days. Is there some alternate reality I'm missing out on? With much love, Hebby. P.S. Here's some fan art of you guys, but as Mobians. I hope you get your own side issue of IDW soon, maybe starring Belle. I bet you three would have lots to talk about.
The boss likes to start and stop projects frequently, so Qbot and I have been around in some incarnation for quite a while. I was operating under the model number SA55 during the Dark Gaia debacle. Campaign. We get updated and upgraded every so often, but we've been around. Thank you for the gift art, by the way. I do look quite menacing here.
Oh, it's very cool. Very cool art. I will share it in the description. But yeah, it's really cool. You look kind of like Mighty, though. A little bit. Are you familiar with Mighty the Armadillo?
Oh, I'm familiar with the entire Rogues Gallery.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, good. You look a little like him in this particular image, at least. Still cool, though. This one is from Matt L. Have you met your predecessor, SA55, and the conversions you and him had?
We'll roll with it. I am SA55, or rather, that is my model number. I have received a paint job and some modifications since then.
Yes. For the better, I would say. All right, Matt L, I guess, has another question. Any times you noticed Eggman left off to take his secret breaks?
The boss sets his own schedule, which is to say, anytime he decides to be on break, it's his break time. A pity I don't share that level of executive authority.
Well, you should just quit.
Yes, but then what function would I serve?
You could just be Orbot. You don't have to do anything.
I'm afraid I'm not programmed to be that existential.
Oh, okay. Here's one from Jonathan S. So, Orbot, how do you feel about your new sister Sage and your sibling relationship with Metal Sonic? Man, you guys ask about Sage a lot. Come on.
Yes, that's 3 questions for Sage now. I see the writing on the wall. She is certainly more responsive than Big Bro Metal Sonic, which is both a positive and a negative. His cold shoulder may be off-putting, but her nagging and tattling are more troublesome.
Oh, come on, Sage. Don't be that way. Here's one from Jackson M. Hi, Orbot. I'm not sure if this is a sensitive question or not, but I wanted to ask, what were your thoughts on the Doctor's previous sidekicks over the years? P.S. Tell Qbot he still owes me $40 from Casino Night. He knows what he did.
Do you mean across the multiverse? Snively and the like? I sympathize with all of them and understand their work ethic, or lack thereof. I do find it curious they're all smaller than the boss. Does he design and recruit us with that in mind? Is it a built-in sense of superiority? As for Qbot, consider your money gone. He'd misplace his own head if it wasn't attached to him. And even then...
It seems like the boss just wants to tower over everybody. I think it is a smug sense of superiority, you know? I think that's just how he is. He knows he's taller than everybody.
Everyone to look up to him. Positivity. Let's be positive.
I don't know if we should be positive when it comes to Eggman, to be honest with you.
Well, I'm afraid I'm programmed to spread propaganda by default.
Okay. You got me there. I guess that's right. Do you know about the margarine incident with Snively? Since you know about Snively, do you know about that?
All I can say is cruel and unusual punishment is not forbidden by our own imperial standards.
Okay. Well, here's one from Madame Mobius. Dearest Orboticus, how much studying have you done of Eggman's misdeeds prior to your creation? Do you even know that he blew up half the moon? What about the time Metal Sonic locked him in a closet? And most importantly, has he made any more photorealistic sub-sandwiches since your days of existence? That's the true evil. Thank you for your overworked and underpaid time. Sincerely, Madame Mobius. P.S. Can I give you a hug, and would that make us friends?
I have access to the mission report archives, and I am fully aware of his past exploits. I have tried to forewarn him of his repeating past mistakes, but that turned out to be too much effort for too little result. As for those sandwiches, those are a daily indulgence, if not more. Thank you for the offer of the hug, though, but I'm afraid I must decline. I would feel guilty if you were to be squished during one of the boss's conquests.
Wow, he programmed you to feel guilt?
Oh, I'm programmed to feel all sorts of negative emotions, so long as it makes him feel better.
Do you feel positive emotions?
Yes, if it makes him feel better.
Okay. All right. Well, at least you're not just always negative. I'm a little worried for you, though.
I'm very self-aware by every connotation.
All right, we got a question here from Professor Scruffy Matt. Greetings, Orbot. I was wondering what you and Cubot got up to during Dr. Eggman's disappearance following the Phantom Ruby incident, and what would you have done had Dr. Starline not brought him back? Did you and Cubot ever consider seeking out employment from another evil madman and self-proclaimed genius? One that owns their own social media platform, perhaps? Cheers, Professor Scruffy Matt.
We went back to our default routines. We kept things running, did system analyses, maintenance, the usual. And when all of that was done, we had no orders, so we could relax. It was lovely. What, did you expect me to take the initiative? I wasn't ordered to, so you can forget it.
I can't blame you. Can't blame you. We got 2 questions from Duck Dealer. What's the most useless badnik model you've seen Eggman build?
I hesitate to cast dispersions upon my co-workers. To say any of them were too experimental or lacked that creative spark wouldn't be constructive. Tell me, who's the most useless person in your workplace? Do be sure to answer on a broadcast where they can all hear you.
A ballot stuffing robot. I'm going to call that one the most useless.
Political subterfuge is quite genius. If overt.
Yeah, it's a little too on the nose. I don't know why he even called it that. Here's another one from Duck Dealer. What's your opinion on Infinite?
He was not my favorite co-worker. A little too dramatic for my tastes. And I say that with the boss's boisterous nature in mind.
He was trying a bit too hard, wasn't he? Like even more than Shadow. And Shadow's like really a try-hard.
Does it really count as trying hard when you believe your own hype?
Yes, it does. You know why? Because that's just how he is. Because he has to tell himself these things or they won't be true. All right, here's one from Vlad C. To Orbot, there's you and Cubot, but what about your sister, Tribot? Where's she been? What do you guys think of her?
Oh, she's a lovely robot, her temperament aside. Come to think of it, I don't think we've seen her since April Fool's Day quite some time ago. I hope she didn't get wedged into a gear assembly somewhere again.
Oh, no. Better find her and bring her back and let her hang out with you guys. For real. Here's one from Colin B. Hello, Orbot. I was just wondering what apps Eggman has installed on you.
Oh, your basics. Calendar, clock, calculator, tracker, allegiance, monitor, that sort of thing. Doom.
Well, I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but you run Doom?
Oh, yes. Rip and tear until the job is done.
Yes, it's true. It's true. Is Doom good stress relief for you? You seem like someone who might need some of that once in a while.
Let's just say Wispawns wouldn't be quite as satisfying.
Here's one from Respawn Avery. Have you ever gone into ball form on a steep incline and just let gravity take you down? Maybe hit a ramp at the bottom and careen through the air, hitting a big airborne ring pile?
Of course. Allow gravity to do all the work for me. The convenience of potential and kinetic energy doing all the heavy lifting. I adore physics.
Very nice. Now you know how Sonic feels. Sometimes he has good ideas.
I do see the appeal, yes.
Fun Floof the Cartoon is here with a question. Hello, Orbot, sir. You finally got what you wanted from TalesTube. People to ask you questions. I hope this is just what you've been hoping for. My question to you is, why did Dr. Eggman happen to put you and Cubot in charge of his big testing tower stationed in the ocean off of Seaside City? Especially with constructing quasi-badniks, you guys must have had big responsibilities there.
Yes, that episode on TalesTube was fun. Many of the questions were about Sage. I'm not bitter, nor am I surprised. As for our tenure at the testing tower, you would think it was a badge of honor to have such responsibilities. Instead, it was clear we were performing the busy work he wasn't interested in. It was also a trifle unsettling to see such efficient deconstruction, reconstruction, and cross-component creation of all my co-workers. But in this line of work, you eventually get desensitized to it all.
And the episode sponsor is here with a question. This one is from Rakins. Orbot, what do you do in your free time? Do you have any hobbies or leisure activities you enjoy when you're not on the clock?
Activities implies doing things. I prefer to do nothing. Ergo, should the opportunity of leisure arrive, I simply do nothing. It's wonderful.
I'm with you, buddy. I get it. I totally get it. I feel you there. Although you do seem to enjoy a good game of Doom, which I can also appreciate. Here's one from Wheels 282 Hedgehog. Over the various schemes by Eggman, Orbot has witnessed and likely been informed of many previous plans and allies that have worked with the Eggman Empire in the past. No doubt some of these have been interesting to have to deal with, but considering there are also multiple continuities and worlds that Eggman has had, Egg Bosses and other individuals working for or with him, are there any that Orbot specifically wished his Eggman had worked with, or perhaps some that Orbot may be particularly glad he and his Eggman never worked with? For example, Leondaw, Ma, Dr. Wily, Morpho, Snively, etc.
To be perfectly honest, most of his compatriots have ended up causing more drama than they're worth.
Yeah.
At least in my humble estimation.
Agreed.
They inevitably turn on him to some degree or another, and that can sometimes put me in the crossfire. I don't appreciate that. All that being said, Agent Stone seemed to be the type of fellow who would respect both my craftsmanship and not rock the boat. His eagerness to please might even lighten my load. So if he'd like to cross dimensions, I'd be happy to open a portal for him.
I like Agent Stone, for a villain. This question is from Pen Dulce. Hello there, Orbot. As we know, you, Cubot, and Dr. Eggman spent a considerable amount of time together with Dr. Starline until he was fired. So are there any juicy details or funny stories you could tell us about that time? The more embarrassing, the better.
One shouldn't gossip about the deceased, but...
That's Starline, who cares?
Right. So one time, the boss caught Dr. Starline preening and made a joking comment about how Dr. Starline's hair would look better styled after his own mustache. Dr. Starline then spent an inordinate amount of time styling his hair to do just that. It took a week for the boss to realize, and then when he did, he laughed until he got the hiccups. Dr. Starline changed it back within the hour and never said a word about it.
Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. I mean,
the best part of all?
Yeah.
The best part of all, Kyle?
Yeah.
It was orange.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Well, at least he changed it back to that weird toothpaste funky thing he's got going on. Had going on.
How do you think he got the orange out? It was with toothpaste.
Strange, but all right. This one is from Scarvy Pirate Dog. Hey, Orbot, so knowing you're Eggman's #1 robot lackey, has he ever forced you to scrub him while he takes a bath? How does that make you feel?
Bold of you to assume that the boss would waste precious waking hours bathing. All of his suits are built to cleanse, moisturize, and invigorate his skin. I dare say he's cleaner wearing the same suit for a week than Sonic is running around for an hour.
I really don't want to think about this in regards to either of them. Why are we bringing this up? Stinky. Here's one from Cohen G. Now, because you're most certainly programmed to never leave Eggman, this is all hypothetical, but would you, in theory, leave Eggman for another person? For example, Dio Brando, shown in the attachment. Kindest regards, a person who draws.
Ah, it's him, Dio.
It is.
But no, switching jobs means researching overlords, updating resumes, moving, learning new job skills. No, thank you. Too much effort.
It would be a bit of a roundabout anyway. Here's one from Spyro James. What is the worst task Eggman has made you and CubeBot did?
We installed a bowling alley on one of his flying fortresses once, but he didn't think ahead to get any bowling balls. I had a rough time of it, but poor CubeBot had it worse. He kept getting stuck in the gutters.
Wow. Oh, no. How do you even roll a cube like that down a bowling alley?
He's a genius. He found a way.
I wouldn't call him a genius in that instance.
You have yet to see him get a 7-10 split with a cube.
Yeah. I think he cheated. Here's one from John. So, Orbot, what is the best mission Eggman gives you, and have you and CubeBot ever did a ride with any of the Eggman egg machines? CubeBot. Why do they keep spelling it as CubeBot? I'm very confused by this.
An understandable error. Nevertheless, We occasionally are tasked with stress testing his personal attack craft, his boss robots, as many of you call them. We certainly never took one for a joyride, though, and we certainly didn't scrub the flight logs and video data showing that we did. You can't prove anything.
Shut up, Sage. Here's a question from John B. So what are your recipes for those giant sandwiches?
Step 1, slice and lightly toast an extra large baguette. Step 2, empty the fridge onto the baguette. Step 3, serve.
The whole fridge, huh?
We have many fridges, all of them devoted to sandwiches.
You know, if I could have that many fridges, if I could have as many fridges as Dr. Eggman, I too would dedicate a lot of them to nothing but sandwich ingredients.
We seem to be on the same wavelength on many ways, Kyle. Have you ever thought of enlisting?
No, I'm kind of like you. I don't want to do the work. It's too much effort.
There we are. Same wavelength.
This question from Maricel. Hello, Orbot. I hope Eggman hasn't been treating you too harsh recently. I want to ask you what you think of Eggman's new pseudo-daughter, Sage. Do you think of her as a little sister? Have you guys even met properly yet? What's your overall opinion of her? I'd love to know.
Oh, look. More questions about Sage. I believe we have covered this topic sufficiently.
Yes, we have. What the heck, guys? This is about Orbot, not Sage. Come on. Don't do this to it. Here's a question from Samuth Star. The sun is coming out and the flickies are starting to sing. We're quickly approaching the season of love. Tell me, Orbot, what is your idea of a perfect date?
They're a no-show, so I get to spend the evening by myself.
Big mood, buddy. Big mood. Here's one from Akito N. I'd just like to say first, I really love your work and this amazing podcast where we learn about a lot of stuff. Thank you. Okay, this is not a comment for you, Orbot. This is for something else. Is it really tough sometimes for you and Cubot to please Dr. Eggman with his antics? Sorry, English isn't my primary language, so if you didn't understand my question, I apologize.
There's no need to apologize. You're very proficient, and I understood you perfectly. The boss can be a bit demanding at times, but, well, my programming won't allow me to be more critical than that, and I don't have a positive way to end that sentence. We endure, I suppose.
I'm rather surprised he allowed you to have any negativity whatsoever. Here we go. Julia C. has a question. Hi, Orbot. Just have to know, have you met your little sister Sage yet? Tell us what you think of her.
She's present. All right, fine. She's a little tattletale and a spoilsport and a daddy's girl, and she could do my job 10 times over, but she won't, and she's absolutely precious, and I can't stand it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that everyone is doing this. Everyone is asking you this, Orbot. I mean...
She drives me up the wall, and I would take a hedgehog to the face for
her. I guess that's really family. I guess that's really what the best you could say about family, huh? Sage just has to be the favorite, though. Ugh. Here's one from Scary Man. Is Conebot real?
Oh, she is. And she's right behind you. Ooh.
Ah, scary. We got this question here from Colm O. It's addressed to Cubot, but he's not here, so...
Oh my, this one's addressed to you, buddy. Okay, hi.
Wait a minute, has he been here this whole time?
Oh yes, he's been acting as my chair.
But you float.
I'm a method actor.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess we got this question here then. Before the base I worked for got blown up, I had a bet with one of my colleagues about your master. No hard feelings, none of my friends were hurt, and since your defeat, we've started getting our pensions. Why has he never deployed his shadow android army in the aftermath of the Black Arms invasion? My money is on him, having used the whole cursed bloody thing. Yours in gambling, former gun tactical researcher.
Well, Tack, truth is, there aren't that many to deploy. The Chaotix ruined a bunch in their pods during the Metal Overlord business, and Omega and Shadow took out a whole bunch more. There's small caches and storage here and there, but not really an army's worth.
Okay, we got one more question, and it's for Cubot again.
Oh, good, I'm here!
Well, that's convenient at least. Sorry for the robot pun type question, but what really grinds your gears?
Usually I lack a lubricant.
Yeah.
Or if I fall into one of those big fellas and get stuck, well, I guess I grind their gears too in that case. As charmingly astute as always, my good chum. Thanks!
I think. Well, thank thanks for joining me, guys. I didn't realize that Qbot was even here. Maybe we should have had some questions for him too, but that's okay. That's okay.
I got questions anyway. I don't understand. Don't worry about it, buddy. You'll just burn out your processor. You've been a lovely host. We'll show ourselves out now.
Okay. Thank you for coming, guys. I appreciate it. Please put in a good word for Eggman so he doesn't attack the studio as soon as everybody else.
No promises.
All right. Thank you, Orbot and Qbot, for joining us. And, hey, let's get Ian back in here.
Hey, that seemed to go pretty quickly.
Yeah, he seemed kind of upset that so many people kept asking him about Sage.
Aw, his poor little non-existent heart.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, well. I feel kind of bad for him. He works hard. Yeah,
but he also works for, like, the embodiment of evil. Let's not be too sympathetic here.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he should come work for us instead. I feel like he would be more appreciated.
I'd certainly trust him over Metal, Ian. Any day of the week.
Yeah, same.
Anyway, thank you, Ricanes, for sponsoring this special character guest episode. If you want to have a guest spot of your own, or if you want to sponsor something else that's within my vocal range, head over to patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, or become a YouTube member.
Thanks, Orbot and Qbot.
And thank you, Ricanes. Be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and we will see you next time on the BumbleKast.
See you later.
Sorry, I'm trying really hard not to crack up.
It's okay. Thanks, Venus.
It's funny you make the comparison. The boss thought he could improve.
Nope, I didn't read the whole question. I just stopped there so I could.
Sorry.
Yeah, I just stopped there so you could do that. Yes. Stop a second.
Yep, sorry. Trying to power through and not crack up.
Whoops.
Sorry, I'm trying to think of something witty off on the fly.
I'm sorry. Gotcha. Got you off guard there. See, remember, Orbot would be a robot, so he'd be able to answer quickly, but Ian is a person, so... That's the magic of editing.
I am completely blue screening on this.
Margarine killed Orbot. Hello, Margarine.
The sponsor for this is Ricanes?
Sneaker backwards, yeah.
Oh, for the love of...
I go reckons.
Reckons? Okay.
Sure, why not? Reckons.
All right.
Or just say sneaker backwards. Like, sneaker backwards. Just say that.
If they wanted to be sneaker backwards, they'd write out sneaker backwards.
No, not Ekans, Dove. Not snake backwards. Sneaker. Yes, that's it, Desirek. You got it. Reckons.
I've not practiced at all, so we will see how this goes.
Okay.
I mean, it's not that hard to do. I just have to make sure he doesn't go too far. Because if he goes too far, he becomes Dr. Starlight.
I was going to say, it's like your Starline voice and your Orbot voice. Very similar. It's just they have different personalities. But their voices, at least your versions of their voices, very similar. So
I'm going to have to be careful about that.
Yes. Starline is inevitable.
Where did your Q&A bring you? Back to me.